name's Eric from Rapid Flow. At Rapid Flow, we do everything we can to make you faster in the studio with mixing templates and premix sample packs. Today, we're going to be doing something super interesting, which is doing a live demonstration of WESAudio hardware combined with plugins, because they have just released new control software for their amazing outboard gear, as you can see here. This just was announced a few hours ago, and I've been using the old version extensively, so I wanted to show you not only how cool these things are, but actually what's also happened with the new software. So for those of you that do not know WESAudio, kind of hard thing to do, I think, these days, but you may not have heard of them. They're a company from, I think it's Poland, led by a very nice gentleman called Michal, who I've had dealings with in the past. He helped me when I was having some technical issues with one of their units, and his team. So basically what you see on my screen here are on the left side, the unit with the big VU meter. It's called the RHEA. It's a very modern take on a Vari-mu compressor, and on the right you see the so-called Prometheus, which is a modern take on a Pultec EQ. That actually does not have tubes in it, which is very interesting because I think it gives you the Pultec vibe with a much cleaner, punchy sound, and I use it actually for my kick and bass at the same time, and I'm going to show you today how that works. So what you're hearing is a track that I have in full production. It's all high-res audio files being routed into these devices. So let's have a quick listen. Just done now is I've loaded up on the left side the side of the Prometheus that's going into the kick drum channel, and on the right side the side of the Prometheus that's going into the bass line. So this is an absolute luxury. You can have one outboard API 500 module in your rack, and you can be processing two signals with it, which is crazy. All of this, of course, has full digital recall, which is why you can see there's two USB cables going into the devices. And if you look at my main screen, you will see that I have a Prometheus control software inserted, and then it's being routed via my converters, which are Prism Orpheus converters, to the device. So these plugins don't actually transfer audio, they are just to control the device. However, you can also control it, of course, just using the device. Of course, you can grab it here, and everything gets mirrored to the hard and software and vice versa. So let's solo the kick drum and the bass for a second, and let me show you what is going on with them, and what I'm doing with them with the Prometheus to start off with. So let's start maybe actually just with the kick drum. What I realized with this kick is that it was a bit too bassy. It had a bit too much click in it, and I wanted to emphasize this punch here a bit. So if I bypass it, you can hear it now. Let me bring in. That's the sound that I took that kick drum to, and I left the total harmonic distortion off. I wanted the kick to be as clean as possible. Now let me show you what is happening on the bass synthesizer. Let me switch off the Prometheus side that's going to the bass line. So with this sound, I wanted to get this sound more up front, and I wanted to take away some of its low end because it was fighting with the kick. And even though these are Pultec style EQs, which are actually kind of known to be gentle, they're actually super powerful. And what I find is a beautiful combination is actually, having the left side in dual mono operation for working with your kick drum, and then you just hit over to the right side and you can do the same thing with your bass. So it's super powerful. Everything is recalled in your session, and you can just jump in between and carve out space and match loudness for your kick and bass, which for electronic music is kind of the most essential sound. So just for that, this EQ is a total game changer. Let me play you back again what it sounds like in the context of the track, and we're just going to have sort of the groove elements going. It up super nicely, and yeah, with the new software, I mean, the old software, honestly, I didn't think it was all bad. I thought it was really good, but yeah, like the new one is just much more modern. The metering is more accurate. It's easier to manage because it's closer to what we're used to, I think, in sort of EQing plugins, and I think that WESAudio has done an amazing job with this. So taking you through the software quickly, here you can select what device you are connected to. In this case, we're connected to the left side of this EQ. As you can see here, it's mono. Here we're connected to the right side. And yeah, I'm doing some cuts, I'm doing some boosts, and I'm just making sure that I'm carving these sounds against each other so that they fit nicely in the mix. Super cool stuff, I think, that WESAudio is doing. Their, API 500 module slot units, dual width, that really, I think, don't break the bank for what they offer, even just from their analog sound point of view. But actually, considering they have full digital recall, it's, I think, really incredible, and I think that it's a company you're going to hear a lot more of in the future. From my understanding, the software that they offer with this for the digital recall is open source, if I remember reading that correctly, meaning any other manufacturer could actually have access to it and use it. So I really hope more companies will actually jump on this, and I can really implore them to please use this more, because it's an incredible way to work, and it's so well executed. It's just very simple USB cables going to your computer. There is a way to use one of their 500 racks where you don't need the USB cables. There's an extra sort of connector on the back of the API 500 module insert, and then you can go out via, I think, Ethernet or USB on the back of your API 500 rack from WESAudio. I think it's called the Titan, if I remember correctly. And just because I've just caught it out of the corner of my eye, there is some 50 Hertz hum going on my spectrum analyzer, as you may see. Not that you get the wrong impression that this is coming off of the WES devices. I actually have a used API 500 in my setup. I've just switched it off, and as you can see now, that's almost completely killed it off. We already have like a lot of, how to call it, gain going on this. But yeah, the API has a little bug. I need to get some service on it. It's humming around a little bit, but yeah, it's like at minus 96 dB. I can live with it quite happily. All right, so this is what you can expect from these devices. However, as you see in my rack, I also have one further device there, which is on the left side, and it's the Raya, and it's a Vari-mu. It's a very modern take on a Vari-mu compressor, which on my track here I've actually inserted on the bass line, because I just wanted to spice it up a bit and just give it a little bit more groove. And here you can get now an impression of what the old plugins, I guess you could call them, of WES more used to look like. Very no nonsense, I think, straightforward design. I think it's super nice. It seems like the unit's not connected, so I can show you that hopefully. Let's have a look. Is it showing up? Here we go. Okay, there you go. H-link. So now the unit is connected. It will pull its information, and we're ready to go. And again, this is going here through a Prismorpheus converter and going in and out of the unit, and then the RHEA plugin is just to control it. So let's have a quick look and listen at the bass line in combination with the kick drum, and I can show you the Vari-mu a bit. things about the WESAudio units is actually the total harmonic distortion that you can bring in as you choose on their devices, and I play with that quite a bit. This is kind of an untypical setting for me. I've totally slammed the transients and also done quite a slow release because I needed this bassline to be more constant. But actually, yeah, the RHEA is also super interesting as a bus compressor, which I think is probably where a lot of people would use it. So let me just dump it over there and give you a bit more of an impression of how it can sound. I think that would also be an interesting experiment. So as you see, I've just grouped the two of them now. I'm going to scroll over to my mastering bus, drop it in there, put it in front of the limiter. Let's see how we're doing on the levels here. That's looking all quite good. So as you see, we're now really compressing a lot. So let me bring that up a bit so that we have some reasonable compression settings for the master. I want my high low-cut filter on the sidechain. All right, so I'm going to bring up the audio so that we can actually listen to this, and I'm going to mute my mic for a second so that you can hear this more clearly. Go to place in the track where we have a little bit more going on. That's a really interesting place where you can feel what the Vari-mu vibe is adding to this track. It brings everything up a bit more. You can get really interesting things happening if you mess with the attack and release from a groove point of view. The total harmonic distortion, like I said, is amazing. I usually don't go above medium if I'm using on a master bus. I always have the sidechain filter at 150 so the kicks don't get annihilated. I leave that to my mastering engineer at Nukem Mastering Studios. And let me show you a little bit more what this sounds like, and then we're going to wrap this up. Maybe with the final words of my recommendation that if you have not heard of WESAudio yet, to absolutely check these guys out. They're doing incredible stuff. Not only does the devices sound incredible, they also have amazing customer support. Like I said, I had some minor technical issues with a unit, and Michal and his team at WESAudio were super cool and replaced it in advance. Made sure that I was perfectly sorted, and rare to find companies these days, I think, that support their customers to the very last detail, till everyone's super happy. Plus, their stuff sounds incredible, and for what it can do, it sounds, yeah, it's I think reasonably priced. It's one of the cheapest Vari-mu options in the market, actually, for hardware. So there you go, WESAudio. Thank you very much for giving us these amazing tools. I hope this little demo and review was fun, and yeah, check them out. There's going to be some affiliate links in the description for Thomann if you are of the European persuasion. Of course, I super appreciate it if you want to support me in the channel. Check out rapidflow.shop to see the templates that we do. For example, this track was written in it so that you get a really good sound of your track without having to spend days and weeks on the mix. And also we do sample packs that are pre-mixed using all of the outboard gear that we use here in the studio. I'm going to jam on this track a little bit more to let you know what it sounds like, and I will see you on the next video. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.